So I'm doing another strongest female Saiyans build in Xenoverse 2 DLC Pack 8, and I say another because in the past I did a strongest female Saiyans build, and it was only relevant up till DLC Pack 7, so I feel enough has changed with the meta in order for me to make another one. So in this one, it's gonna couple with my Gigantic Roar in Female Saiyans video, where I talked about how Gigantic Roar could be insanely OP on Female Saiyans, as well it should be. And I'm going to take it a bit further and do a full build for you guys. So before we get into the video, hit it with a subscribe, click the notification bell, and if you want to support the channel, you can do so at Streamlabs or on Patreon. Now let's get into it. So the transformation that you want to use is going to be Super Vegeta or Future Super Saiyan. Now I know a lot of people are wondering why we're not going to use Super Saiyan, guys. Super Saiyan, and it's because meta wise this move is really a gimmick. Nobody really uses Super Saiyan Blue, only because of the key drain, and you don't want to have to constantly babysit your key bar. And even if you use meditation, it's still you know, you just don't want to use it. It's not you don't have to use it. It's just a liability, and the extra power that you would get is negligible. So you want to stick to something like Super Vegeta for your damage spec, or you could go with Future Super Saiyan if you want that stamina buff, or that stamina regen buff. But stick between those two. Super Saiyan Blue is not needed. The other aspects of this build that you're going to want to be using moveset wise is going to be Consecutive Energy Blast, Pose K, Meditation, and really the fourth move is really up to your preference. If you want to take advantage of the female Saiyans and their ability to vanish when they use Super Saiyan, you could use something like Evil Blast or Big Bang Kamehameha, because that recently got changed back to where it vanishes when you use the move. I don't know why they nerfed it and took it out originally, but that's changed. So really the fourth move is whatever you want, but you definitely need Pose K, Meditation, and Consecutive Energy Blast. Now Consecutive Energy Blast is the second most important move on this build, due to the fact that it recently got a huge insane buff both to its tracking and its damage. So it's really good now. It's for those situations where your opponent really just doesn't want to aggress the situation, and it does really good chip damage. So they don't even have to get caught not blocking. They could get caught blocking and they will get a pretty hefty amount of chip damage, enough to make them come and fight you. So if you're in one of those stalemate situations where your opponent really just won't aggress the situation, you could just as easily just, you know, start spraying them down with Consecutive Energy Blast, and that will change their tune really quick. They will have to fight you at that point, or if they want to just keep running, hey, that'll be them. They'll just constantly get chip damage. As far as stats are concerned, really stats do matter for damage optimization, but I mean, if I had to recommend something, just go with your standard 84 in stamina, 42 in ki, at least 100 in ki blast supers, and then the rest should go into health. That's what you need to go for stat, you know, with this build, with your stat spread, and that's all that it really is to this build. That's the strongest female Saiyan build. Now, when you get low on health, if you get into one of those situations, which you really shouldn't, because super soul wise you should always stick with only because people have a tendency to run in this meta. So when you use a transformation and a stat buff, regenerates your health, and it's gonna force people to have to fight you eventually if they want to just be one of those people that just like peck you with a, like maybe they peck you with a snap vanish triangle, or they just keep snap vanish grab, or anything like that. Is gonna regen off of that damage, and they're gonna have to constantly fight you and at least do combos at some point. They're gonna have to come up off of that running. So that's all there really is to this build. Again, you really don't want to have to rely on Gigantic Roar and its health mechanic, because health mechanic wise, the lower health you get, the more damage that this move is going to do. Now you combine that with the fact that Saiyans already have a mechanic like that on themselves, so that's only gonna increase the damage. And on top of that, you have the buff to Ki Blast supers that female Saiyans get, and then you're running something like Super Vegeta. The damage is going to be insane, and if you're in a really dire situation, you're going to at least take off 1 bar of health at the very least. I wouldn't be surprised if you got 2 full bars of health with this build alone. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Of course, you can enjoy the rest of the footage, the rest of the gameplay, proving the consistency of this build. And I hope to hear from you guys in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell for more videos as they become available, and I will see you in the next one.